Hey y'all, how are you doing? Carlos Silva here, and welcome to Talk to Carlos podcast, episode number 1. I don't have the best gear, I don't have the best light or microphone, software, anything, but I had an opportunity and I don't want to miss this opportunity. Done is better than perfect. So, podcast world, here we go. Let's go, man. Yes, and thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate that. And I don't really know what I'm doing here. This is the first time I'm actually in a podcast. Yes. This is amazing. I have no idea. So let me introduce you, man. This is my brother-in-law, Thiago Paulo Mafissoni.
That's me.
That's the man.
That's right.
And he had an amazing experience in England, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to be talking about, England. So, come on, man. The first question I have to ask you, when did you go there to England?
Yeah, there's a long story. Yeah, I've got lots of things to speak today. And first of all, I want to thank you a lot for that, because it's your first podcast. How mad are you, man, putting your brother-in-law in here to have a conversation with me? So I'm very glad for that. Thanks for the opportunity. And yeah, I think this question is very good in the point that I went there in 2003. So I went there to spend more or less six months. Wow. In this trip, but I took 6 grand years there.
Wow,
so
6 months ended up being 6 years.
Exactly. Wow. 6 years. So it's a long story, especially because we needed. It started as a friend. A friend of mine was he was just graduating from a tourism, and he decided to go to England, just to say, hey, do you want to come with me? And I was like, okay, right, what are we going to do in here? Yeah, let's go then. And then we decided to go. So 2003 to 2006 was a very
That's amazing. And we can say that you've been to England by your accent. Like, your accent is very British, right?
Yeah. I lost a lot of my accent now because, I came back in 2006, so it's a plenty of time for that. Mm-hmm. But it's a point that when I listen, especially the British speaking or anyone, I recognize it a lot, and for me it sounds very good. For me is a difference when I have to speak with American or
for me it's totally the opposite. Like I am familiar with American accent, but British accent for me, like, now I can handle it, but in the beginning it was really hard. But awesome. So you decided to go based on a friendship, right? And you went there.
Exactly, an opportunity.
The question that I think most people want to know, like, did you speak English back then at the time?
No. The only words I spoke was ketchup, hot dog, what else? But basic of the basics. Really? It was crazy.
Did you take any English courses before?
No, not at all. No. I just decided, my friend, he used to speak a little bit better, but not much than me. So we went there without speaking anything. I mean, he was the guy that normally spoke with the guys in the border, but few words. And there was a lot of patience for us because we didn't speak a lot. So
I can imagine it. Crazy, you're crazy. You're very bold. That's amazing.
That's real. That's real. If I had this opportunity now, if someone come to me and say, hey, I want to go to England, the first thing I will say to them, speak English, speak the language first. Don't do like me because it's bad, it's hard.
Okay, so I imagine that you probably have seen lots of things and have been in tough positions because you didn't know the language.
Especially in the beginning.
So tell us about a story. Like, when you got there, what happened? Did you get a job? Did you, I don't know.
Yeah. We went there with few informations. The only thing we had in support in that time, it was a family. They were Irish. Irish family. They used to come to Brazil to visit a family of the other friend of mine, and they say, hey, they said to us, when you go to England, just go around, just to go next door and go to Ireland, stay there with us, just to get used to Europe, and then you go to London. And this was a big opportunity for us, because we were planning the trip, but we didn't have any support for that. So this family, they received us there for about 1 week. We went to Ireland. Wow. And then we went there as a tourist, just to stay in the family house. It was very good for us. It was like hey, holidays or vacation. And
what about the Irish accent?
The Irish culture, for me, they are more friendly. Of course, they are more friendly comparing to the real English or the Scottish as well. And the accent is for me is very similar than Australian. Is in the middle between American and the British. So it's very easy to recognize when Irish people are speaking. Is very it goes smooth, very very quick.
Nice.
And we spent about 1 week there with them, hey, and then the time it was coming, we had, of course, not much of money in hands, but we had a plan that we took a train. I remember they lived just around Dublin. It was not Dublin, but just around. We took a train to airport, and we took a flight to London. There, from there, we started our trip, and then
after 1 week,
we are here. We're alone. We don't know no one on anything in here, and then
vacation.
Started our difficulties and our challenges there, because by ourselves. Let's go to London. We had 5 days in a hostel.
Mm-hmm.
Just right in the center of zone 1 of London, the first point of London that we knew. So we arrived in London, and that day went straight away to this hostel. We had 5 days. In these 5 days, we only had one information of London. There was a name called Feijoada do João, or Feijoada. It was an only place that we knew that
Sounds
we
like
had
home.
to find, because in there, Feijoada do Luís, if I'm not wrong, in there was the only Brazilian place in entire London. I don't remember to recognize another place. It's just Latin places, but especially Brazilian. It was the only place that we knew that was Brazilian. It was right on Oxford Street, the main street of city of London. And in there, they said it's gonna be a board in there with some jobs or things that Brazilian normally communicate in themselves.
So like they help, like they are.
It was just a board.
Okay.
Not even a help, because they were day by day job there for them. So it's normally, of course, it was Brazilian, but if you come to them, they say, hey, guy, I'm working here, can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
But this board was for us, our objective, let's go to this Feijoada do Luís, let's find this board, because you're going to find the jobs and things there. But to get there, it was a problem, because we didn't know nothing. So in the first day, we just walked around the corner just to recognize, because it was right in the middle of London. So London for us is like New York, like a 24-hour city, people and everything. So
people from everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. For us, we never saw people, with the Asian costumes or even Arabian.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, it was like, whoa, there's a shock of culture, of course. But in the first day, we just walked around the corner, right? So we had like 6 or 7 what would you say?
Blocks?
Blocks. Thanks. 6 or 7 blocks to reach, and we didn't know how to get there. So in the second day we just walked 2 blocks, and then 3, and then 4. I remember we had only 2 days left in the hostel. And we found this feijoada of Luis, and then but we didn't have money. We didn't even eat the feijoada because it was a little bit expensive. But we had to see the board.
That's amazing.
And in the board we found Lady Lord that rented us a room. It was right far away, and then we had to spend like 6 hours in a bus because I didn't.
6 hours.
6 hours inside the bus because we didn't know how to use the.
But just to find a place for the first time, 6 hours for the first time, not a routine.
No, not at all. So, but it was like in zone 6. London is divided by zones. So the central London is on 1. So it's on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we went straight away to live in the zone 6 of London. Every day looking for a job in city center as well. So it was very hard, very difficult, and no English at all.
Great experience. Okay, and let me ask you, like, how do you find a job in a different country, different culture, and no English at all? Like, and not because here, for example, I can't remember the last time I set my resume, it's all because I know somebody and because I worked well in a place and then I invited to go. Like there, you don't know anybody, like it's just you. So like, how do you find a job, especially without speaking English? So, and what was the first job that you got?
The first phrase that I learned was, I'm looking for a job.
That was the first.
That was the things some days I only speak that. I only spoke this phrase. I'm looking for a job. So we went to City London. We were living in this room because it was, I don't know how many people were living in the house. I don't even account that, but it was a lot. So, and then we started. We took the bus and we went straight to City of London, and then we started in these blocks that we knew. We started to go in the restaurants, to go in places, and I'm looking for a job. But if the guy that answers me a lot of questions or anything, the communication were down and I had a problem. So sorry, don't understand, and
boom, goodbye.
And then boom, goodbye. So, but in that time, I don't know how it's today, but that time there was this was the way to look for a job there. To go in a place and say, I'm looking for a job. Hey, you got a job in the kitchen. Do you want to start now? I say, if the guy makes a positive way, I say, oh yeah, I got a job. My first job, it took 2 days.
So it only took 2 days for you to find a job?
No, it took me 2 days. My first job. It only took 2 days. The duration.
Oh my goodness! Okay.
Because it was one of these days I found a job like this. Hey, I've got a job for you. The guy just came outside of the restaurant. I went inside of the restaurant, asked them for a job. He took me outside of the restaurant. He took me a bunch of papers, like marketing papers, and hey, you guy, give two people. I said, hey, I got a job.
Yeah.
And then I started the first one. Hey, look, this restaurant, come, and always excited for that. And this was my first job. In the first hour, I was like that. In the second hour, it was. I don't remember which season was, but it was getting cold.
Okay.
Not too much cold, but it was getting cold. In the second hour, hey, come here, and giving them the paper. The people just passing through the streets and giving to everyone. And every hour the guy just came out and, hey, do right, give paper. So yes. And then in the first 3 hours, I was fine, but after that it was coming cold, and for me it wasn't super cold because it was very hard. I didn't even know how much I was getting to an hour or anything like that. And in the second day, I went there, oh my God, I don't know what to do, man. I want to go back. What did I do? How wrong I am, with lots of things in my mind. And in the second day, in the last 2 hours, I couldn't stand there because it was, there was no dignity or anything like that. So I came there, sorry, I'm leaving, and the guy didn't even pay with that. So
really, so you didn't?
No, not at all. I said I'm just leaving, and I didn't even think, I didn't even know how to say give me my money.
Wow.
It was a failure total. So I went back, but a friend of mine helped me. Hey, let's start again. Let's go. And then the things were getting a little bit better when every day we leave the house, we left the house and looking for a job, and he found a job so far away in the other north of the city. It was like in zone 6 as well, zone 4, I don't recognize, but in the east side of London. So, and he said to me, hey, there is very good place, it's a little bit calm, it's like a neighborhood, and looks like we have more opportunities there, not these crazy things that we see here in the town. And then I started looking for a job with him. He found a job. He started, I don't remember what he was doing, but he started there, and I was going with him and looking for a job in this region.
Sure.
It was region of Richmond and Twickenham. I remember these neighborhoods, these regions there. And there I found my first my first right job in a restaurant, washing dishes. So in there I started, I just started to communicating a little bit more, but nothing more than, a little bit more 5 minutes of communications. But in there I started all the way, little.
Wow.
In London. Crazy,
tough.
Man, crazy, very tough, very crazy.
Yeah. And how is the relationship between like the boss and the employee? Because a lot of people say that it's not good, like that some of them, they try to use the employees as much as they can, and sometimes they don't even pay. And how is that? Is that true or?
That's very true. It only started working when I started speaking English. That's the way.
Then things change.
And then things change because you get a better communication with what's happening. So in this first job, I had a problem exactly in this case, because I didn't know much how to communicate myself. He said 200. I don't remember the number, just to figure it out. Yeah. 200, right. So in the end of the week, I was there, and he was giving me like 150. So I said, 150 is not 200. No. And looking at me like, what are you going to do? So I say, all right, that's my only job. I took the money, my pocket, turn around, go home, because you don't even argue with them. You don't have anything, arms, hands, just to do anything. So,
come on.
And this was, I think, the way that I thought. In this way, is not just gonna work. I mean, there's no room for things like that. So I was really upset, but in this point, I realized that I need the language. I need to speak with these people, And then it took me a little bit more time, to get the opportunity to do a course in there for international.
So you took a course there?
Yes, finally, because I just was living a little bit better, just knowing, getting used to the news life, because Europe is more close to us than, for example, Asia or on any other culture. But there is a lot of differences. It takes you like a couple of months basically to get used to take a bus, to know how to go to a place to buy a milk, to buy a food, and things like that. So in the end, you need to get used to that, and then when you start feeling better, and then that's the point that we need to look for the language. So it's necessary.
Like when you settle, right?
Yeah,
when you settle,
because
go.
Yeah, and then because I remember the only place that I had to communicate to myself, it was a library. In this library, it was a PC, like a normal PC, that it was a free internet, but you had to spend only maximum 1 hour. So I was there, and then in there, when you have access to the internet, exactly, you can find like places for international students, how much you're gonna pay.
But it was harder, right? Back then, like today is a lot easier to find.
I think so. Even Brazilian places. When I left London, it was already picanhas on vacuum. You could buy picanhas. You could buy guaraná.
Wow.
Thing that it took me like 4 years to drink a guaraná.
Wow. I know some Americans, when they come here, they take guaraná with them to the United States because it's hard to find, and they love guaraná.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's very good actually, and that's the only soft drink that it was very good for us, and there was nothing at all. So 2006. We could find guaraná. You could go to more Brazilian places, more Brazilian restaurants opening. So I believe the import it was easier for people staying there. So
wow, man, crazy. So you took a course, and in this course, did you study with British people,
no,
or did you have British teachers, or?
I found a course in. It was in a place that Cambridge University was there. So all the materials and everything it was from that university. But it was a course special for international students.
Okay.
So I studied with Polish. Most people of Europe, South Europe, especially Spanish, Italian, so people that, with the euro at the time,
you met
they could
culture, right?
A lot of culture.
Crazy.
I used to live with people of different cultures. I used to have lots of friends, from different cultures. This is one of the good things that you bring with yourself that is not gonna end like money or anything else. So this is one of the important things, that your experience that you learned there is unforgettable. Is a thing that you take to your entire life forever.
Wow.
Because mix your mind, your feelings, most of the things that I don't see much of the progress in the cultures. In there, I could see the other point of view is very important.
Nice. Okay, so you left Brazil, no English. Then you got there, not good jobs.
Yeah.
You started learning the language. You started improving. You got a good job, and you learned the language. And then, did you find even a better job than the one before, or and did you were you? Because I have talked to people that when they move abroad, the United States, the UK, or Canada, and some of them, they have a lot of difficulty in developing a good relationship with native. Because sometimes, it's a lot easier to find a job where only foreigners are there, or I don't know. So they, I have seen some people saying about Canada that people stayed there for 1 or 2 years, and they didn't even meet Canadian, only Indian, Chinese, Brazilian, not Canadians. So, and how was that? Did you have British friends? Could you develop this relationship by talking to people?
Very few. I believe that the time I spent there generated that, but English native, couple of friends, I used to work with British friends, and they become, of course, my friends. But very few. There is a point. I don't know. Of course, in other cultures like Canada and United States, but I saw that there is two types of job divided. One of the things that I realized in that time, my opinion is that I would never compete with a British for a job. So that's true. That's the point. That if there is a job posted, of course, it's very hard to compete with them. But the good point on that is that there is a difference. Like there is a separation of the jobs. The better jobs for the native, the job that no native want to work is for us. So this is the first thing that we divided. So catering, restaurants, and this type of works that normally for them, let's give it to the immigrants or anything. So you see, like for me, in my point, like 80 to 90% of the people from all over the world. So Asian, in Europe as well, lots of friends. But there was few British that working with us, especially in these places, because after I got English, I started speaking English, because when you do a course, when you learn the language and you live the language day by day, your English start rising very quick. And then you get jobs that you communicate with people frequently. And in this job, the last job that I took 4 years, it was in a pub. So it was a branch of pub inside of Heathrow Airport, an international airport.
Inside the airport.
Yeah, I started.
So it was more like a fancy pub.
Yeah, it was very nice. The pub in there is a restaurant, so with the British culture, so family go and they dinner normally there. So it's a little bit different than us, that the pub is only for the youngers.
Like clubs.
Pubs there is a place where family can go in the summertime. In the Sunday, let's get a roasted or anything like that. Pub is this kinds of a place for them. So the pub, this pub, they had places in the 4 terminals. I remember now it's 5. We went to Terminal 5 after Terminal 5 was created, but there was 4 pubs in each terminal, and in there I had like 3 British. 2 managers and one British working with me, day by day, and then this was the most close friendship that I had with British there.
Wow. Yeah, but you met other people from other cultures, and that's it. Okay, and do you believe that's the best job you got there when in the pub? The job you got, like that was that the best one there?
It was the best for me, because it was a very good place, to work. You have some allowances to work in the terminal. So I was working there exactly when there was a bombing problem there in the airport, when they discovered the problems. Today, you cannot take to the airport more than 100 ml of liquid, because of they discovered a problem there on that time. So
you were there.
The airport was closed. There was a lot of stories. I don't want to take everything in our podcast, but
come on, go ahead.
But we have security training. We have terrorist training and everything, customer services trainings and everything that the airport takes to it. Every day we had to pass through the security. Even the staff, because we have the land, I don't remember the name, how they divided the people that did not check in, the people who already passed through the security. So is the airline. I don't remember how they use, but we used to work our pub. It was for the people who were traveling. So after the security, so for us, every day I had to pass through the security, dogs, And on that day, on that time, it was a chaos in the airport. I remember, everything shut it down. We had to sit down, wait for the security to pass over. It was things that in here we don't see much. No. We don't see, basically. Of course, we have problems with crimes and everything, but
not terrorism.
Not terrorism. So in the places that it was exactly a little bit after the war against Iraq. So it was the things were very,
relationships shaky
and everything going bad. So lots of things.
That's great. And what about like coming back? Like, why did you decide to come back, and when, and what motivated you to come back?
I was going to basically to stay there. I believe so forever. I
really?
There was sometimes that I thought to myself that I wouldn't come back to Brazil. So I would come back just to see my family, holidays. But my life was getting there, because after a couple of years there, you start living a normal life. Of course, it's not a normal life as a British lives.
It's a normal life as an immigrant.
It's a second normal life in there, a sub life. But even the sub life is better there. Not just looking at the financial way, but the life that you have there is better. You have access to anything, to a lot of things that in here for us is very difficult. So this makes your life a little bit better, but not just in financial. The way that is, security in a point that you can walk, middle of night without any problems. You've got security, police when you need, or anything like that. And of course, it's technology and everything for them is very easy. If you work as a waiter or as any other work, if you work well, if you work good, you're gonna have your pay in the end of the week, and you're gonna buy things that you like. It's very good. It's very nice.
There's no much difference between the entrepreneur, very well succeeded, and the waiter.
No.
Right? You can achieve the same or similar goals, right? You can buy same things. You can visit same places. Like, you probably have visited places around Europe, not stayed only in England.
Yes, in holidays or vacations. Holidays for them, they use the British vacation holidays. In our holidays, normally we can go to, we went to Spain, we went to Portugal, other places, because for them it's like, for us, let's go to Rio, 2 hours. Let's go. So for them it's the same, but with the price of the tickets, like, whoa, 50 pounds for a ticket, return the tickets to Spain. Why don't we go?
Yeah, of course.
We can go. The only thing that you need to do is plan. The rest, so is the support. You can travel. You can go by train. You can go, very easy. There was a promotion there that I remember. It was like a £5 return tickets for example, in the winter. You can go whenever you want. So it's very good for that. This is one of the things that we can manage very good in the holidays. So opportunities, of course, is very good.
That's amazing. Yeah. And now, man, you learned the language, you learned English, you can speak, you can communicate really well. This is great. This is amazing. And like, what changes do you think you had in your life that from this experience that affect you until now?
Is one thing that I will never forget, and is a thing that I bring to my life, is that in a first world country, you see how much the money is not important at all.
Oh, okay.
That's the important thing, because in here, what's the problem that I see? If you buy an iPhone, people will see you like, oh, Carlos has an iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, he's there's too much in a thing that it doesn't make you.
It's really nice, but it's just a gadget.
It's just a gadget. And there, if Carlos has, let's see a Ferrari example that I like. When you see someone passing through you with a Ferrari, you will not know if that is a waiter or is an entrepreneur or is because that's the opportunity that my dream for Brazil is that no matter what you are, but if you go through your dreams, you will have the support from your country, from your economy, from your government,
mm-hmm.
and your especially the professional way that you do. You're gonna reach your dreams. If your dream is to buy a Ferrari, right? Go for that.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna buy, but the Ferrari is not gonna be all, whoa, Carlos bought a Ferrari, because Carlos can buy a Ferrari, Thiago can buy a Ferrari, a waiter, or anyone can have access. So in this point, you see the value on that. It just goes down. I left Brazil with my teenaging phase, more like in this point. Hey, I have fashion sneakers or like fashion things that it was for me today. I'm looking back and say, what did I do? So like there's no point more. And for me, when I see that, for me, I don't like really. So and I broke that with the language, and of course this is
mm-hmm.
important to see the people more from the inside than what they have.
Right.
Or they buy, or the status, and
this
is the thing that you learn,
nice.
of course.
This is nice. And now you use a lot of English on your work, right?
Yes.
Nowadays, so like you left England, but England didn't leave you.
Exactly. The language. I was basically a technology lover since I was a little one, and the language brought me a very good opportunity in the technology, because in 2011 I started, and the language was the real need. So there was a few people with my curriculum with speaking the language. So this was also a thing that I achieved exactly with the language, the importance of the English for this job, or for the entire technology systems opportunities that English today more than 10 years ago, of course, but the language is the entry point for to go through my career in IT.
Nice, man. No words to thank you. Amazing.
You.
I loved it. We left so many stories.
Yes.
And on purpose, because we can have a second time, and we can have so much more fun, and you can share more experiences. So, man, thanks a lot for sharing. I'm pretty sure you're going to be helping students and people who want to achieve English. You see, it's totally possible. We're two Brazilians having a podcast in our second language, right? So it's possible for everybody, right? So, man, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
It was amazing.
Mother-in-law, thanks for the conversation.
It was great, man. Thanks.
I'm all glad for that.
That's nice. God bless you guys. Thanks a lot.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.